We'll go ahead and start with questions for the players. Go ahead, Doug.
For both of you, what was different in the second half? Were there some points of emphasis coming out of the locker room?
Yeah, we decided to change some matchups, change some ball screen coverages, and not dwell on the shooting in the first half. Kind of knowing that we're going to get shots, and we got to step up and hit them. So not focus on the first half, and moving on to the next half. So.
Like you said, really, it was just like our energy for real. I felt like the second half we had a little bit more energy to come out. We made a few mistakes in the first half, but cleaned stuff up at halftime. So, yeah.
Scott.
As Coleman, when you're in that stretch where Rutgers misses all the shots, doesn't score for 10+ minutes, I mean, just what do you kind of feel or see in that? I mean, can you sense that when you're playing?
Yeah, I just feel like our defense is there, our effort is there, energy, energy in the crowd, in the building. Yeah, that's it, and it's very contagious too. When you're playing hard, the next guy that subs in got expectations to go in and play hard, match the energy, or play even harder. So yeah, I just feel the energy in the building, in the crowd, and throughout the team. So,
Jeremy.
Sometimes freshmen take a while to buy in defensively, but what do these three guys add to you guys defensively?
Yeah, Ty can go out and guard any matchup. We could switch with Ty. Jaden and Sincere are fighting their asses off to get over ball screens, and you see the effort they're trying to do. Sincere's a little skinnier, Jaden's a little shorter, but they're fighting really hard to get over those ball screens, and it's great to see them take on challenges like a Paul McCahey, bigger guards in our league like that. Jalen Pickett, who don't really get sped up like that, but they're fighting hard to speed people up and just play our defense. And yeah, it's been good to see them just buy into that. So.
Was there a different feeling for you coming out of halftime offensively? It seemed like you were able to really kind of get going and be aggressive kind of quickly out of the break.
Yeah, I think the difference is just, some games I don't really, and I'm not saying this is anyone's fault, but mine, I think I just don't get involved in like the first media or two. Some games I go a stretch without doing anything in the second media. So today I, try to get involved, try to get a few shots in, get to the offensive glass, whatever that is to kind of impact the game early. I think that, the energy just carried over. You see a few shots go in. Just like I said, it's just energy and it's contagious. So, yeah.
Scott.
Dain, it seemed like you and Coleman had kind of a good thing going in the first half. How important was that on the offensive end where maybe other things weren't working quite as well?
We've been really emphasizing just getting the ball in the paint more. I feel like Coleman's did a good job of just looking and just talking to me, just communicating with me a lot on the floor. Even in practice too, just teaching me little things that I can do so he can get it into me easier. So,
Derek.
Known as one of the better big men in this league. Did you see this as a big matchup for yourself, and what do you think your performance said about kind of where you stand in this conference?
I'm kind of familiar playing against him. I played against him a few times, just coming up in AAU and stuff. So I kind of was already familiar with his game, with how he tries to play. Cliff's a good player. Every game I try to, pre-game I try to just watch just some of the players' tendencies and how they guard and stuff. So I took advantage.
In the way back.
Question for both of you guys. What did it mean to have Goody back on the court, and what did he bring today that helped you guys?
I think it was good to see Luke back. It's hard, coming off an injury like that where you got to sit out and, you have the build up to, playing to the season and then boom like that, your season it's taken away from you. So it's tough on you mentally and physically. So it was just good to see Luke back. He's bringing energy. He's talking during practice, but he's slowly getting back to it. So yeah, I got a lot of respect for Luke because he worked hard to get back to game shape, game form. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely good to have Luke back. One of the biggest things for me is just him, just his leadership he's shown in practice and just on on the side, just on the bench, talking to some of the younger guys, teaching them stuff. So that was really a big thing for us.
Scott?
Coleman, when did you maybe sort of have this realization that, it's taken you maybe a couple media timeouts to get involved offensively?
Yeah, last game, there's just a few times this year where I'm like, just not getting involved, and I conversate with my dad, and he's like, those first 5 minutes, you got to get involved. You got to go do something, get an offensive rebound, get a putback. And like I said, it's not anyone's fault but mine. Just getting involved in the game, not just going with the flow, just getting involved, because ultimately it's that's going to bring my energy level up. It's going to help our team out too. When I'm getting to the offensive glass, making shots, doing things like that. So.
Dain, when you said you look at tendencies, is that like in warm-ups, or is it more on film? Like, what do you look for? And then as a second part, like now that you've got all these Big Ten games under your belt, like what have you learned about going up against some of these bigs in the conference, and what do you think you've shown?
Tendencies. I mean, just watching some of their film, just on how they guard. What do they play defense with their chest more or more with their arms? Because if I can get into their body, I could do my spin or spin off of their body. So I'll just watch for little stuff like that. And the Big Ten has really good bigs, but I feel like I've did good. With just studying everybody, taking little things that I can learn. This is really my first season playing, but I definitely feel like I'm one of the best bigs in the Big Ten.
Andy?
Dang, it seemed like after the first 5 minutes, you guys were able to really turn the tide on the glass. What were the biggest reasons for that? Yeah, it seemed like after the first 5 minutes, you guys were able to really turn the tide and kind of dominate the glass. What was kind of the biggest change for you guys there?
I think they out-rebounded us. It was like 15-4 at half or something like that, and we ended up with 40. So just at halftime, we just all bought in. Me, Cole, and Matt. We always hit the glass really hard, so we really just made a big emphasis on that, which really changed the game.
Yeah.
Coleman, after halftime, did you want the Mulcahy matchup? Because it seemed like your length really bothered him, especially trying to get those runners in the lane.
Yeah, me, TA, and Frage talked about it. Was it yesterday in practice? And he was just saying, if he gets going early, they're going to put me on him. I feel like we worked a good amount on doing that. Sometimes if I get caught on the screen, me and Dain could just switch it because he likes to get downhill to floaters. But if Dain steps up, I could get to Cliff quick. No lobs. You saw it worked well. So yeah, we kind of talked about it earlier, and he got off to a decent little start. So yeah, just having that matchup, you bother him my length. So yeah.
Jeremy?
Coleman, I don't know how much you saw him play, but Darren Williams was here today. What's it mean to see a guy like that come back here, and even a guy like Mandy Jackson?
Yeah, for sure. It's special. Actually, just like growing up, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know Darren Williams went here until I came to the school. I was like, Darren Williams went here? Like, that's crazy. Like, I've always known like Darren Williams to be a great player, but I never knew that until I came here. But no, it's awesome to see people like that. Yesterday at Ubben, Manny came right up to me and he introduced himself. He told me he loved my game. So just little things like that where people recognize your game, but they're very impactful for this program and very powerful people as well. So it means everything for people like that to come back and watch us play. So,
Joey?
Dain, I know we've talked a lot about your journey over the course of the last year, so not to get too far into that, but if we were to go back a year ago right now and tell you that you'd be kind of where you are right now, would you have believed it? And I guess what does it mean to be able to, in your first real season of college basketball, have the impact you're having?
Definitely. I feel like, I would have been here. I just take it day by day. I try to do everything I can to, little things like just get my body right. That's what I've been trying to do over the past year, and it's been showing. So, I really just try to take it day by day, and get better every single day. So,
Derek?
Coleman, you mentioned the conversations you had with TA and Chester. I know Brad's given them a lot of compliments about where you guys are at defensively. What have you seen from them and how they coach you guys up and what they provide at that end?
Yeah, just being there. They're coaches, but they're coachable as well. I come up to them, pick their brain. What do you think about this, that? And we're feeding off each other. So, it's always good when you have, like a former player like Coach Frazier who knows how we feel and, is just kind of relatable to us. So he kind of has that connection with his players where he can talk to them, figure out what they think, and it's not just it's my way. He'll talk to you, and then you guys can figure things out together, and that's what we've been doing over the years. So, yeah.
We'll go on the way back with Brett.
Coleman, how much confidence do you guys feel like you have defensively, and to hold a team for 10 minutes without scoring? Does that give you a little bit of pride in that sense?
Yeah, for sure. When you force tough twos in today's game, I think it's a really good thing. Tough twos, no threes. You let a guy like Cam Spencer, really good shooters in our league get going. That could be the end of the night right there. So when you're forcing tough twos, forcing tough shots, you're fighting over those ball screens. You feel like you're unbeatable. When slowly and surely those shots don't fall for them no more. And then you look up and it's a 19-0 run, whatever it is, and it's the energy is just impacting everybody. So yeah, I feel very confident in our defense.
Anything else for the player? Oh, one more here, Andy.
For both you guys, it seemed like they were making a couple of those tough twos kind of early. Where do you guys kind of get the patience to kind of play through that and wait for that run the second half to kind of come the way you did?
Yeah, just knowing that no one's gonna make those all game. It's really hard to beat someone like that. So having patience and just getting on people for not warring over ball screens. Sometimes. We call it a defensive mistake if you're just getting hung on ball screens. So just having that will to actually want to get over and fight through and yeah, but no one's going to beat you, shooting tough twos all night. So.
Yeah.
It seems like you made some strides in this game, scoring from the high post. Is attacking from there something that you've added, and has it been something you've been working on in practice?
I feel like I just had the opportunity, to start playing up there more, but I feel like that's always been a part of my game. I can rip drive through the top or through the free throw line. I feel like that's just been always a part of my game. But just with our offense, I can be effective from up there too, and just look for the two-man game. So a lot of times they'll overplay it, so that will open up the drive a lot. So.
Okay, thanks, man.
Sort of a little rusty, and just kind of I felt really good at half, to be very honest, with Terrence and Matt. I think one field goal between them, and only down 4, and then to be down 15-4 on the glass to start the game. That was disappointing because we spent a lot of time talking about their rebounding. They need that rebounding, and we weren't very effective doing that. But I thought the last 8 minutes we were really good. We got our way back into the game. We found a little run that came from our bench. Sincere hit a 3 to kind of crack the seal. And then very seldom in this league do you have a 19-0 run and hold a team without one for 11 minutes. I thought our defense was terrific. I thought our shot blocking impacted the game at the rim. I thought that Ty Rogers, Sincere, that group, we did it with a lot of freshmen on the floor. It was our small lineup. Coleman Hawkins, Coleman's guarding everybody from Mulcahy to Cliff today. So I thought that group was outstanding, and it's a sign of a good team. And then the second half we got TJ going, we got Matthew going. It was nice to see Luke Goody out there, kind of break the seal for him. Playing, he's going to be huge for us down the stretch, and I thought Dain in the first half was just absolutely not just scoring the basketball, but the fact that they had to play 8 minutes without Cliff because he picked up 2 fouls guarding him was very impactful in the game. So all in all, really good day. Did what we needed to do here at home and beat a really good Rutgers team.
Start with Jeremy.
Brady mentioned the freshmen, Ty, Sincere, even Jaden. Defensively, what are they giving you right now, and how rare is that for a trio of freshmen?
Very. What they're doing is, and Jaden didn't have one of his better days offensively, but Jaden was like glue to Spencer, and I thought that was a big part of the first half as well, is not letting Spencer get going. But they're becoming assignment sound. They're playing really hard. We know they're athletic, they're quick twitch, they're versatile, but they're becoming assignment sound, and they're understanding a scouting report and not making a ton of mistakes. I thought we forced Rutgers into basically a middle ball screen game. It was just 2-on-2, where Spencer wasn't even a part of the second half for the most part. And, all they did was high ball screen, and that, to me, is playing into our hands. And we forced a lot of hard shots and a lot of contested shots. I felt great. McConnell took 10 in the first half. I felt really good about that. He made a few, but that's okay.
Brad.
Seems like when you guys go well offensively, Coleman Hawkins is a big part of that, whether it's passing, facilitating, or scoring. And when it doesn't go well, usually he's kind of not involved. How do you get him involved from the jump?
Damn, Brad, you asked the hard questions. I don't know. I mean, I thought he got a couple easy ones to get going. We need Coleman shooting the basketball. We need Coleman in an aggressive mode on the offensive side, and I say that, and it's an aggressive, but you put the hyphen after it, safe, after it, and you don't want him overdoing too much. But I thought he turned down a couple today that I want him to take. But again, tonight he let it come to him. There was nothing that was hard about it for him. He was aggressive. He looked for it, and he got a couple on the offensive glass. He got a couple jump hooks. He hit a fadeaway in the paint, and those are looks that Coleman makes. And then he gets his catch and shoot threes. And he's that Coleman Hawkins is an elite player.
A little bit of a chess match with lineups. What did you see from the flow of the game when you went small? And how do you think that group impacted the game?
No, they won the game for us. Small won the game. I think it was the 19-0 run with mostly Cliff and Dain out. Now, that's the catch-22 of being a coach. How long do you let it run? And I let it run a long, long time. And before I made a substitution, we had TJ on the bench for a good bit. Ty was grabbing every rebound, and that's what I think makes us really good now is those freshmen are growing up, and what we may lack offensively sometimes we pick up on the defensive side. So I thought it was a huge part of the game today.
Scott. Scott.
Back to Coleman. Yeah, he came up here and was talking about maybe the realization that it takes him until maybe the second or third media to really get involved, especially offensively. And just what does that may say about his approach, and how has that maybe changed in the time that you've known him?
Yeah, that was Io. Io did that a lot. Io was patient, picked his spots, knew when it was there. As a freshman, Io was trying to score every time he touched it and was in hyper mode all the time. Coleman's just kind of letting it flow. He figures it's a long game. He knows his opportunities are going to be there. He knows he's going to play minutes, and so he's very, very patient with his approach. And we ran some stuff to try to get Matt some opportunities early. Jaden a couple opportunities, but he just kind of bides his time. And then it's put him in situations where there's some pick and pops and based on some coverages and a couple post-ups, and he was really effective today. He took advantage of them.
Kid.
Coach, when you were up by 9 or 10, there was a stretch where there was some unforced turnovers, the lob passes, and they just didn't convert. How do you manage between letting the kids be themselves and knowing and understanding time and situation?
Yeah, that's where we got to grow. I mean, that was the first half of the end of the first half of the Iowa game, and it's like I called Sincere over and I said, when was the last time we completed a lob? I said, you weren't here. And I said it was with Kofi and Omar last year. We haven't completed a lob all year, so why are we throwing them? And just understand, not that Matt can't go get one, he can, but that's youth and their exuberance. That Coleman made a really quick one. It went through Ty's hands. We had a first cutter layup. I'm okay with that turnover because I really want guys to look for layups. But again, it was I would rather him be aggressive than passive. And now we got to be able to put and think through the time and score deal. But it didn't hurt us today, but it sure did it last Saturday.
Right.
So, Brad, going into that first media timeout, it looked like you were talking to the guys about getting those defensive rebounds. And you mentioned Ty did a really good job on boards. Talk to us about how he kind of changed the game for you guys today.
Yeah, when I need rebounds, I go straight to him. Nobody else. Get in. I mean, he dominates our practices every day. He's been dominant on the season with our rebounding. He's a guy that has an uncanny knack for finding the basketball, and he's not afraid. If you notice, most of his rebounds come above the rim, and there's an art to that. And I love what he's doing. Gosh darn, I love what he's doing. And it's all we talked about for 2 days. So I wasn't very happy with the fact that we needed to keep them off the offensive glass, and they had 4 or 5 in the first 4 minutes.
Derek?
Coach Amori's thought to be one of the better bigs in this league. How did you see Dain approach that matchup, and what does his performance say about kind of where he stacks up?
The good thing is, Derek, he played against him before. So, so many of these kids play against each other on the circuit, and they know each other, and Dain was really confident. I mean, he was a shoot around today. He can't guard me. He can't guard me. He knows he can't guard me. And, I love that. And so there's no fear there. There's no fear with Dain. And the one thing Dain Dainja has now is a lot of confidence. And he's very confident. And so he knows he's not. And if he gets one-on-one coverage, Dain is a handful. And, Cliff's an elite defender. I think he got one of them. But Dain got it back. So, two good centers going at it, and 2 bigs. And I'm really proud of Dain. Dain's getting better every single day.
Joy.
First time this season, no minutes for RJ. What went behind that decision?
Yeah, it's suspension. Violation of team rules. So that's deal with him, and we'll move forward from there.
Andy?
I guess with Dain, for someone playing his first year to be as consistent as he's been for you guys, how valuable has that been at the center position?
Last year, coming in at semester, I think helped expedite that process, being a mid-year transfer, understanding our terminology, understanding our practicing against Kofi, being able to yeah, you guys are great. You guys tweet that out so fast. That's unbelievable. That's like Doug trying to take pictures of me the other night at a high school game. I mean, right in my face. That's great. But it is. It was an advantage being here, and he's really confident. He plays with no fear. So Dain's growth has been fun to see. Still got a long way to go, but he's gaining on it really quick.
Jim, in the way back.
Hey, Coach, I had one a little bit off topic. Tuesday, you created quite a stir in the little town of Fairbury when you showed up at a small town high school basketball game. What can you just say what your thoughts on that small town was? Was that kind of fun to go to a small town?
That was so awesome. That was awesome. And I can't talk about recruiting, but it's one thing that makes this place really special. I mean, there wasn't a seat to be had. High level game. Everybody's so proud. A gentleman I'm sitting next to is I have no idea who he was, but he was very talkative. And in the middle of the third quarter, there's a gentleman on the other side running in front of the students and the fans, and he goes, that's a preacher at one of our local churches. And I thought, it's not every day you see the preacher at the Baptist church, I think he said, getting the student body fired up. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's what makes basketball special. It's what I grew up with in my hometown, and pretty fun.
Tyler?
Yeah, Coach. You mentioned that you kind of turned the game into 2-on-2 in the second half. Cam Spencer, he's been by far their best offensive player. He got 1 bucket on 5 shots. Was there anything special you did for him, or was that just straight up Jaden, like you said?
I think it's what they felt comfortable with. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Steve. They did that a little bit in the at the end of their Michigan State game. They went just a lot of high ball screen. We were going to give him that. We did not want Cam to beat us, and he's a very active scorer for them. He's had some big games. I think he's 15 or 16 in their wins. I think he's 9 or under in their losses. That was a goal, but that's all a lot of credit to Jaden in the first half.
Jeremy?
Brad, to have a guy like Darren Williams return here this weekend, and I don't know if he was able to talk to you guys, but just to have that presence around your team, what's that mean for you guys?
Yeah, a lot. First of all, yesterday was an incredibly special day. I mean, that was my first words when I stood up there was wow. And first of all, to have a group of people that we had in that facility, and you can always say, I can always say thank you to Josh and Howard Milton and their staff, but it's very difficult. People don't realize, you find people that put their money where their mouth is, and commit to something, and then you get them all in one place. And the reason I wanted this job was because of Rick Schmidt and Darren Williams and Manny Jackson and the group of former players, Deion Thomas and those people. It's elite. Those are elite people. I mean, you're talking about a 7-time NBA All-Star. Everybody in our locker room knows who he is. And then for me to, in the transfer portal world, for them to be able to see and hear, because when he was introduced, everybody heard that ovation, and to know that that's what this should be about. This should be about that, and the greatness that he is, and we talk about him a lot. And his posters, his pictures up in our locker room, we celebrate his success, and it's what makes this a great job. And you look at Manny Jackson and what he went on to do in his career. It makes yesterday very special because it's not just the fans. And I said it on the postgame radio. That building was as good as I've seen it all year today. And our fans make it. Those fans and supporters just happen to have some money that they decided to help our program. And we're here to win national championships. Winning's really hard. And that's my goal. And yesterday we took a big step by that announcement. And for those guys to be here as former players that all have been supportive, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Matt?
Brad, how much did today flip when Coleman's able to accept the defensive responsibility of Mulcahy, and can that go forward the next couple of months where, hey, he's bothering us, let's put Coleman on him?
Yeah, it's a great point. Versatility is our team's strength. Okay, I mean, you think Coleman just guarded Mulcahy, and he was guarding Cliff, and he started the game guarding McConnell, and you think what Ty Rodgers does on the same thing. You think about, Matt. You think about our ability to block shots at the rim. It's not just one center blocking shots. It's a group of guys blocking them. Terrence Shannon, versatility, going and blocking a shot off the backboard. That versatility is our strength. And, there's a reason a lot of people at the next level like Coleman Hawkins, and it's because of what he does on the defensive end.
Mark, in the way back.
Coach, how rare is a 10-minute drought for a team like Rutgers?
Very. In this league, they got great players. That's an old basketball team. That is a veteran basketball team. I mean, they scored, 85 against Iowa? the other night. I mean, they're down to the wire in Bloomington the other night with a chance to win the game. That basketball team is old. They're elite. They're veteran. Mulcahy knows how to score. Spencer knows how to score. Cliff's a threat at the rim. So it's unique. I thought it was as much our defense as anything else, but you got to do it every night. But it's rare because this league is really good.
Joey,
But you guys got Dain, a guy who'd played like 9 minutes of college basketball, who needed to work on his body literally a year ago. Do you ever have to step back and kind of take in as far as he's come over the course of the last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty spoiled because I try to not take Adam Fletcher for granted, and Palmer Johnson and Paul Schmidt but mainly Fletch. I mean, Fletch just took him under his wing, and it wasn't just, hey, we're going to go to the weight room and lift and we're going to run, and it was diet, and it was eating with him, and it was the things that truly he had to go through, and it wasn't easy for him. But it's also a tribute to Dain, and he didn't shy away from it, and he accepted it. And then he was a battering ram for Kofi, in practice, and but all that pays off, and it's a process for him, and good things happen to those who work hard. And Dain worked hard.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.